those times where I'm not, able to, create, or, write poetry.
Mm-hmm.
I just try to be, I try to make an effort to be observant, so that when I am able to, transform these, take these things and put them, into poems or other writings, I can do so, to the best of my ability.
Right.
And to my satisfaction, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Have you had any struggles with perfectionism?
And that perfectionism. I would say yes. I would say yes, definitely. Specifically with poetry, because when you're writing, you are again in the process of trying to pinpoint exactly a particular feeling, an experience, an observation. So if what is on the page isn't exactly
the feeling you're looking for.
If it's not extracting the proper emotion, then I'm unsatisfied, because I know if it's not extracting, the same reaction from me, it can't extract the same reaction from the reader. Yes, which is, essentially, that's the connection I want to make. So I know they can only feel as deeply as I feel as I'm writing it. So I would definitely say, perfectionism is definitely there in the process of my creation. More so with poetry than any other medium.
I wonder why.
What I would say is, the use of words makes it it's more of a challenge. It's more of a challenge than trying to draw, because when you're drawing or painting, it kind of gets to a point where it's okay, this looks like a window enough, or this looks enough like a tree, and so on and so forth. And you repeat that process, and eventually the whole picture is done.
Right.
The whole thing is done. But again, using words, it's a much more careful process, because each word that you use has a different effect on, how the poem is received. So it's really, it's a nerve-wracking situation trying to, be exact at times using words. 'Cause words sometimes, escape our grasp.
Very true. And very unfortunate. I know the feeling. And so it seems you've always been creative. So what does being creative do for you, mean for you?
I would say being creative really means to be healthy. Like I said, if the foundation of being creative is expression of your most inner self, your most true, most pure self. So when you are in a position where you're not doing this, where you're not expressing things, whether you don't necessarily even have to be an artist per se, to express things. So if you're in a place where you're or making an effort to try to use different mediums in in your own particular way, if you never engage in that process, I would consider you to be rather unhealthy. That's an unhealthy situation, because what it does, it allows these things to build up
Right.
internally, and they start to have external effects. So I would definitely say being a creative is a part of being, emotionally and mentally healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I see, and I would say I take it, very seriously, in that light.
How did this come to be that you have been able to allow yourself to venture into this, to be healthy, to express yourself emotionally, mentally? Because I know in our community, sometimes we don't have that as an option.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was your family accepting about you expressing yourself, or was it something you just realized you picked up on the way?
Oh yeah, I would say my family was definitely supportive.
Mm-hmm.
My sisters, not particularly artists in the same way that I am,
Mm-hmm.
but very expressive still.
Okay.
I would say it came to be, that I able to express these things because, for one, again, my family played a large role in that, because if your immediate group that you are part of is unsupportive of it, we are a lot less likely. If we have no one to encourage us to do these things, that it's much less likely to happen. So I was very fortunate, I would say, in that regard, that I was surrounded by loving individuals who were accepting of, the importance of expression. So from that, and I say that because that I really believe that plays a large role in any creative, having again an environment where you can safely express yourself is crucial if you are going to be a healthy individual.
Right.
Because I had that environment, and I participated in various things growing up. And still being supported by my family and my friends and things like that. It put me in a mental space where I'm comfortable addressing and acknowledging things that I feel.
Right. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So I would definitely. I don't think I could say that I would be the creative, expressive artist that I am had not I had that environment where where it was safe for me to express these things.
Dope. I was just curious, since poetry can be a very deep expression.
Yeah.
And so,
especially when you start to write poems about your family members and other people.
Yeah, that's like my next thing that I'm gonna work on, and I'm just like, whew, gotta get ready for this.
You can do it. Go ahead.
And so, how was it that you put all the different people together for your anthology? Are you like in a community or?
No, I was so so I came up with the concept. Okay, so I want to take this opportunity for myself, but also provide this opportunity for more Black individuals, Black poetry writers.
Yeah,
it's going to be a poetry book. Wanted to give them this opportunity, so I came up with a group list. Again, I say group because the book has 2 sections in it. This one has a female section, so it's a section where Black female poetry is, which is the front of the book, the first 5 sections, and it's a Black male section.
Okay.
So when I decided I wanted to, have it in those 2 sections, I went on social media and just did a lot of research, a lot of looking. I had some friends who I knew wrote poetry, so they were definitely willing to participate in it. And so a lot of the work was on social media.
Okay.
Me finding the poets and connecting with them, and, explaining to them how it's going to be set up and this and that.
Cool.
Yeah, and it was rather easy, I would say.
Okay.
Due to the nature of social media, it's
right.
very easy to connect with anyone. It made it a lot easier. I can imagine it would have been more difficult, without it.
Okay. And are you still in Georgia?
Yes,
because I know Georgia is like a really interesting place for creatives to be.
Yeah.
So I wonder, have you been to any like shows or events or things where creative things are going on, poetry, music?
Oh, definitely. Right now, I am working at a publishing company called Unique Euphony, and we host a lot of different events where we have poetry that people recite. Sometimes poetry and comedy. These are regular events to try to draw and give people again that space where they can come and be expressive as they need to be. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of opportunities in environments. At least in where I'm at now, where people can come and do these things, and it's very beautiful to see. I should say, it really is.
One of my favorite things about Georgia. I was just wondering. And do you believe that creating keeps you present?
Definitely, yes, definitely. Because again, there's a inner environment, where we are. There's an outer environment, of course, where we are, outer space.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, outer space is moving very rapid, at least in American culture.
Right.
As I've experienced it, the outer space environment moves very rapidly. It's always I would say it's very fast paced.
Right.
There's a lot of things going on. So it's very easy to get, wrapped up in the wave, So when you take the time to say, I'm going to make a conscious effort, and we're going to create something from, something that what this outer space experience has made me feel, some idea that it's given me, some things I've observed in it. When you take the time to do that, it grounds you in that, in that time, in the present tense. Rather than, in your mental, you're thinking about your future, what next week has to offer, what tomorrow has to offer, or what happened yesterday, or in the past, or anything like that. When you take the time to make a conscious, effort that I want to create this thing, whatever it may be. I want to create this piece of art. During the time that you are creating it, you leave here, essentially.
Yes. You go to a new zone.